Yeah, welcome everyone. Introduction to accident management. We'll talk how, what, when an untoward incident happens altogether. So, what is accident? You must have heard call 911 in the movies. You must have said evacuate. You must have said abracadabra. You must have said fire. There might be certain crash sound that comes around it. This is what is all about accidents. We call an ambulances. It is all about firefighting mechanism that has been put place. Everybody is in the hurry. Everybody is working around the 12th things. In fact, precious moment is lost. If in case precious moment is lost, you also tend to lose precious lives. Yes, what exactly is accident? You come to something which is always said just missed, near miss, whoa, or very close or near hit, watch out, almost hit. Now, these are the sense where you have not met with an accident or the casualties are not very grievous per se. But then these are the things which gets extrapolated and an accident happens. In case if you've heard about just made that was close almost is very lucky to get saved. Please ensure that such events is avoided for sure in futures to come forward. And this is what an accident is all about it. Now, talking thereby what exactly it is an unexpected, undesirable event resulting in damage, not only in terms of physical harm, but also in terms of death, probably, an unforeseen incident. A series of happy accidents led to his promotion. This is something which is gone with an with a positive incidence as per the freedictionary.com says around it. An instance of involuntary urinations or defecation on in one's clothing. Probably I'm defining accident as per the free dictionary comes around it, or the lack of intention, chance, ran into an old friend's by accident, logic, or circumstances or attribute that is not essential to the nature of say. Now here in the pic, if you see the lady falls down. Why? Because the drawer in the bottom shelf was always open, and this is what is hazard is all about it. We need to understand a spill on the floor is a difficult condition. A spill on the floor can make somebody slip altogether. This might lead to certain things which might be very unfortunate. We have broken equipment. If the equipments are not properly utilized, if the equipments are almost of an inferior quality, it causes of the accident. The risk, therefore, what are the risks? It's a measure of probability and probably of severity of an hazard to turn into harmful wealth in terms of property, in terms of environment, in terms of health, you name it. Anything that becomes deteriorating, anything that is detrimental to the human beings, to the property, to the environment. And this is what the risk is all about it. A measure of how likely, remember, this is the percentage, this is the probability of harm that is to occur, an indication in how serious the harm might actually go around it. Risk, we would love to keep it at the zero. Absolutely, but believe me or not, in every job, no matter what you do, there is an art of a risk always happening that it might go wrong. Specifically, if we are working with the equipment, probably say it very clearly. Now, safety from danger or harm. How do we go around it? Now, if we are going to look around in the workstation, in the shop floors, if you want to go around, there might be certain notices which has been pasted on the walls. So nothing is free of dangers. And believe me or not, this is one thing which should keep you alert, because alertness might avert all the way. So safety is better defined as a judgment of probably the acceptability of the risk is what safety is all about it. So it's your judgment of the acceptability of the risk, that there is an element of risk no matter what you do, go around it. We'll talk about the Thai Pearsons in 1975, way back 74, 75. It says they have come with a pyramid of one of the studies, which I'm quoting it out here. It says around, if there are more than 400 or in and around the vicinity of 400 near misses happening or near injuries on, probably you just avoid the accident by a split of a second. Believe me or not, there is always a chance that the 20% of them would be actually lead to a property damages approximately, which means around 50 times. Probably there might be for every 400 near misses, there are 80 times there are property damage. There are 50 times which injuries leads to a first aid mechanism to be administered, and approximately three minor injuries wherein a person gets medical leave or not been suitable to work for at least 3 days, and one times is where a person actually loses his life, his dear or her dear life for good altogether. So you need to understand how we come across even type yourself. So best methodology is to eliminate the near misses every time. There are 400 times it has been shown, it has been decided, it has been displayed that 400 times the near misses happens before actually a person loses her life altogether. So if we can probably nip the problem at the very bud. So yes, the type of accident. Let us look at the root causes, the direct causes, the indirect causes of accidents. Now, the types of accidents, there might be fall. People might trip from the same level, or even from a lower level. The people might get caught in, or caught on, or caught in between. A lot of things. They might caught in an argument, caught on with some certain things on their feet, or they might come in between a process that they come get surrounded. There might be a contact with the chemicals, with electricity, with heat, cold, radiations, and things like that. And these are unintended contacts altogether. Believe me or not, they are not aware of the fact that they have come into an um, uh, unwarranted situation per se. There might be a bodily reactions from this involuntary motions, or let me say even involuntary motions altogether. So you might have a knee-jerk reaction which might not be very conducive to the reactions. We will continue accident in the next slide also, as the case might be. Now, if we look in the types of accident, how do we go around it? Look here, we are stuck against. Now, did I say the stationary or moving object? No, what happens when we get stuck against a stationary or moving object? Probably your one part of your body. When I say one part, your top part of your body might be in the motion, whereas your bottom part might stays put. And as a result, this momentum creates a friction and the balance of equilibrium get displaced. You get falling down, or probably you get stuck against a moving place wherein you are not able to adjust yourself to the moving things. That is one of the reasons. Then there are things that are protruding, there are sharp or jagged edges that comes around it. You can often get stuck by moving or flying object which you have not seen, which you have not anticipated, or you can get stuck by something falling on your head, probably from a ladder, probably from a um, uh, anything that comes around it. We are talking about ladders, we are talking about staircases, we are talking about scaffolding, as the case might be. So rubbed or abraded by friction, pressures, vibration. Probably this is one thing that into consideration. Let us understand what are the various, I repeat, what are the various accidents, what are the reasons behind the various accidents then comes around it. I've been seeing about the direct causes, indirect causes, and the basic causes. The basic causes is all about management, and is what is the attitude of the management towards accident prevention. Is proper training been given to the employees or not? What is the environment that comes around it? Remember, environment is both man-made and uh, natural altogether. So can we curate the environment so that it becomes more or less an accident free? Then we have the equipment, and equipment gets old, equipment gets outdated, new equipments can be flown in, probably been installed, and the person operating the equipment might not be trained or might not be accustomed with the equipment. Again, these are the three reasons wherein the equipment get old, tainted, or malfunctioning, or a new equipment and the person not be knowledgeable about it leads to an accident. And maximum of the time, more than 50% of the time, most of the accident happens because of the human behavior. Then we come into the indirect causes. Now, what are indirect causes? Are unsafe acts. When I say unsafe act, probably people are not adhering to the safety guidelines of wearing a personal protective equipment. One. So that's one unsafe act. Then there are something called unsafe condition, because there might be a fluctuation of temperatures, because there might be a fluctuation of lightning abilities per se. Now these are indirect causes that comes around it. But if there is a basic cause, if there is an indirect cause, how can we forget the direct causes? Now direct causes are your slips, your trips, your falls. You get pushed over, you do fall down for reasons beyond your control. You get caught in, you get run over, you get an exposures of the chemical, thereby we say so. So we come to the very last fag end of this presentation. Let us understand what about the basic causes, the indirect causes and the direct causes. Now I have said about the basic causes. It might be your policies of the management, the procedures that has been kept through, the environmental conditions, the equipment, the plan design, and the behavior of the human beings. When I say the human beings, it's the employees that are working around it. Believe me or not, uh, indirect causes can be your unsafe conditions and unsafe acts per se. So yes, we have the direct causes, we have the indirect causes, and then we have the direct causes. What it happens, it means there is a slip, there's a trip, there's a fall of the person, there is an abrupt release of the energy, and this is what results as in pinch in between. Now look at it, we have said about the basic causes, be it the policies, be it the environmental condition, the equipment, the plant design, or the behavior. Then we have spoken about the indirect causes, about both the behaviors and the environmental conditions. And the direct causes are the slip, falls, trips, energy release, and so on and so forth. What these three causes around? These causes accident, which are detrimental to the person, to the employees, to the workers, as in with an injuries and the damages that comes around it. And the damages might not be only limited to the workers, but to the property also, but to the organization per se also. Even the productivity of the organization suffers. So there is a potential accident, there is a potential or actual accident that comes around it. So we should all strive towards eliminating the causes for any accident. With this words, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.